We'll go ahead and get started on this is now our last meeting of December for the City Council. The Chair will entertain a motion to suspend the rules.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Creel, seconded by Mr. Tisdale. Any discussion? All in favor? Those opposed, if the clerk would read the revisions.
To the consent agenda, we are substituting item 5I, resolution authorizing entry into settle agreement by and between Shuckers Baseball LLC and the City of Biloxi, and amended the municipal budget for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2026. To the routine agenda, we're adding section 3 to authorize and approve the claims list on the docket of claims number 2026C-03 in the amount of $180,789.21, and to authorize the mayor and/or municipal clerk to pay said claims. And section 4, the foregoing warrants that are being approved cannot be released until funds have been received by the City of Biloxi and have been deposited.
Need a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Creel, seconded by Mr. Tisdale. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Mayor's report.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I'm hopeful this will be a very short meeting because we've got a lot of beautiful day to do and start our Christmas shopping, right? Some people start today. But we do, so it is a beautiful day and it's a beautiful time to be in Biloxi, and the season is great. We're, this year has passed so fast, but we're in, there are challenges every day, but I think we will be meeting those challenges with the help of everyone, the council, the citizens, our administration, all of our directors. So I'm so happy and thankful that we're at the point we are, but we'll meet the challenges as we roll forward. I have a very special introduction in just a moment, but there's some events that are related to Christmas that we'll see in just a few days. But some recycling events. One I would like to say starts on the 26th, and this would be the Christmas tree recycling. I think for us, Biloxi, Rodenberg, and at the Highway 9, that's a place. And then another on the 8th annual Christmas cardboard recycling event for Biloxi. It'll be at the Edgewater Mall. And that is on December 27th, Saturday, December 27th, 8 o'clock through 12 o'clock. And after the New Year's, and after Christmas and after New Year's, there'll be a transition that will happen at City Hall. It's called the 12th night. So we'll begin the Mardi Gras season on the 12th night. And colors will change from red and green to purple. So those are the three events that will be coming up. So again, Merry Christmas to everyone. And I'd like to introduce Executive Director Paul Drake to talk a little bit about Mission 3. This is a governance and a big collaboration with everyone that's involved with the impact of our military, United States military, and the things that we can do together to make it even more successful, especially for Biloxi and especially for our Gulf Coast. Paul, would you like to come say a minute to our council?
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to thank the mayor and Rick and the council for providing me some of your time. I know your time is very valuable, and I appreciate you sharing some of it with Mission 3. So what is Mission 3? Mission 3 is a public-private nonprofit formed to unify the military, the defense industry, and the community in this Gulf Coast area. So let me explain what a defense support organization is. It's one that builds resilient communities that support America's military. It is a connection point for leaders and communities, states, the military, and industry on community military issues by enhancing knowledge, information sharing, and best practices. So we aim to become a coordinating entity that unifies the military installations and the defense industry and the community's stakeholders to enhance not only military readiness, but also our economic development and strength here along the Gulf Coast. Slide. So we are very recently announced, the governor announced in October, I believe it was the 23rd at the Aerospace Conference. So when we say new organization, we are very new. I'm happy to report that we've just selected our first board of directors, and we should be having our first board meeting in January. Next slide. So what do we do? Like I said, think of us as a spoken wheel. We are a coordinating hub. We want to link these different groups of stakeholders together and talk about all the opportunities and challenges that faced the Gulf Coast. I won't go into each of these because I'm pretty sure this audience here probably has a good idea what those are, but I wanted to visually depict on how you can view our organization. We are a coordinating hub. Next slide, please. This is something I don't probably need to explain either. The Gulf Coast is blessed with multiple DoD installations. Mission 3 also includes two other important entities here on the Gulf Coast, and we call them installations, and that is our shipbuilding in Pascagoula and Stennis Space Center. So when you see our documents and we reference 7 installations, those are the installations that we reference. Next slide. Now, this is just to give you a little idea of why it was important Mission 3 to become created and formed down here. Prior to 2016, the way the Defense Department looked at, now the Department of War, looked at the care and feeding of their installations was based on an internal process only. They did not solicit nor want input from local communities and how they made those decisions. And that's what, that's basically everybody knows it as BRAC, the base realignment. And a lot of these organizations like ours were created out of that in order to try to save the installations that were the main economic drivers in their communities. Those organizations are generally focused around one installation. Mission 3 is going to be different because we're going to focus on all 7. So moving forward in time, around 2016 to 25, they started to really look at ways to consolidate mission sets. And so they made a lot of decisions on where they put different missions. They tried to group them together. A good example is up until recently when they moved Space Command, it was centrally located in Colorado, all the space missions. Moving forward, things became clear that as quality of life issues for airmen, soldiers, sailors, and Marines improved, so did mission readiness. That translated into when spouses can find a job, when children are in good schools, that's less that the service member or woman has to worry about. They can focus more on their jobs. So about 2025 and on, now they seriously consider, and it's one of the main indicators of how they select where and when new missions go and where missions stay, is by quality of life indicators and how the local community supports those installations. Now, here in South Mississippi, we're blessed. We're a very patriotic community, but it is important that we protect the missions that we have, and it's also important that we position ourselves that if any new missions come available, we can submit and have a very competitive package. I can go into those at a later date at your convenience. I'm willing to discuss those. Some that quickly come to mind are testing evaluation centers that we could establish along the Gulf Coast, and also included in that are the new Collective Combat Aircraft CCA that we are uniquely positioned because we have instrumented ranges all the way from Camp Shelby to over the coast. But I wanted to cover how we evolved and why organizations such as ours are now important. Next slide. What we see as our strategic objectives: provide regional strategic continuity. Leaders come and go, businesses come and go, CEOs, presidents, base commanders, they all rotate in and out. What we aim to be is that strategic continuity, that entity where a new person can come to not only in the business community, but on the base, a new base commander, and go, tell me what's going on in South Mississippi. How does this affect my business? What are the opportunities? What are the challenges? We aim to be that strategic continuity. We also want to lead and develop a culture of community support for installations and military families. Although we enjoy high quality of life down here, there are always better ways we can improve it. We need to always strive towards that. Mission 3 is intimately involved in all workforce development issues here on the coast. We want to drive retention, educational opportunities, because all of those have economic impact to the local economy. We also want to be a strong advocate for regional infrastructure and, like I mentioned before, quality of life improvements. So when I say advocate, let me kind of quickly go through what I mean advocate. Next slide. Right now, we have some unique advantages in this area, and some that we may in this area take for granted. There are many mission sets that we are singularly qualified to do, just because of our littoral regions and how it mirrors some of the South China Sea issues, our underwater drones, our surface drones, our shipbuilding. There are things on the Mississippi Gulf Coast that no other region enjoys, and we need to take advantage of that. We also need to take advantage of our senior congressional leadership, our ever-improving workforce development efforts down here on the coast. With the growing research and development system, we need to always leverage our existing frameworks. One of the things we enjoy down here is year-round training. If you want to know where Alaska comes in January to train, it's the Mississippi Gulf Coast. It's too cold up there. We have, of course, the ports, the airports, the bases, and the railways. So these are some of the things that we are going to coordinate, champion, and advocate for. And we just felt there was a gap here. We felt there was a gap on communication, and so we were formed to provide that, and we're modeled after many other organizations across the country. Some that come to mind are Hampton Roads in Virginia and the San Diego Military Advisory Council. Those are some mature organizations that we are in direct contact with. They have been doing this for 20-plus years, and they have had some very successful, not only retaining the missions that they have, but in mission attraction. And what they're getting everybody to do is just speak with one voice, make sure everybody marching to the same beat of the same drummer. We do not replace any existing efforts that are out there. There's a lot of wonderful things going on the Gulf Coast. We do not replace them. We just want to amplify them. We don't want to get into anybody's lane. So never fear about that. We don't write or manage federal applications or grants, but we can help you find where those are and what you may or may not qualify in your wards for. You know about the impacts of Keesler, some of those things. Bottom line is Mission 3 is here to let the Mississippi Gulf Coast cities know about the opportunities, and we can work together with our installations, because when our installations and military thrives, Biloxi thrives. And when Biloxi thrives, our military installations thrive. So both are connected in ways that'll never be undone. Is there any questions I can answer at this moment in time? I know that's a lot of information. I speak very fast. I'm trying to be conscious of your time.
Paul, I'll throw my 2 cents in. When he talks about fast, we had a conversation in 10 minutes that would take normal people, 2 hours to do. But it was truly exciting. Paul's a United States Air Force colonel, and with the colonel and the general sitting next to me here, I think one thing that's apparent that this Mission 3 gets our potential down here. When you mention infrastructure, when you mention, the quality of life, when you mention the potential to weave all of these things together to make it a real strong case, almost like Huntsville and some of the things that happened to put together, but somebody wove that together to say, this is where the leap that we can make. And it's certainly with the challenges that we'll have in the next 2 years, much less, 10 years.
I also want you to view Mission 3 as an information source. Hopefully everybody's heard that the new national security strategy came out in November of 2025, last month. I've already taken that, I've created a placemat for that, and I've given a one-pager to Rick on what that new national security means to the Gulf Coast. There are a lot of opportunities in that pivot from the Pacific to the Americas. So I would encourage, I'm sure Rick can make that available to you, but when strategic documents like that out, national strategic documents that come out that have a local impact, feel free to reach out to Mission 3 and we can explain to you and show you where the connections lies, where the opportunities are, and what challenges we may face here on the Gulf Coast.
Thank you, Colonel.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. Looking forward to the future. With I think it just gave us a new excitement, I think, on where we can go with a lot of things that didn't have a direct relationship to support, and some of the things that are mission critical to our country and to our life down here. Thank you, Paul. Merry Christmas.
Thank you all.
Merry Christmas.
Okay. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mayor. There being no departmental reports, we'll go ahead and start with council reports. We'll start on this end, Mr. Shoemaker.
Oh, my goodness. Going to change it up a little bit.
Yep.
Really, I'm going to end the year with just one thing. On a positive note, the downtown Christmas event this past weekend, I'm sure some of the other councilmen will bring this up as well, but I thought it was great for the city, great for the community. Only positive things is from what I've heard from everybody that's on Facebook, everybody that the weekend. So I think it was a great event. Hopefully next year, I'm sure the organizers are looking at making it even bigger and better. Hopefully next year the city can get a little more involved too and help out in several ways. But that's really all I had, just a positive event, and kudos to the ones actually who put that together. I think it was Joel Davis maybe and Nicole Nazat, I think. So kudos to them. And that's all I have. Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shoemaker. Mr. Tisdale?
Yes, Chief, just a speeding issue on Pine Grove Avenue with Briarfield not available as a point of ingress or egress to that neighborhood. You got a lot of people coming down Pine Grove now. If somebody write a few tickets. Yeah, I said that because I know if it hits them in the pocket, they stop otherwise. So anything you can do to help with that is appreciated. And also wish everybody Merry Christmas and a very prosperous New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tisdale. Mr. Creel?
Okay, let's see. Huge shout out to Christy Labata and her staff with Public Works, specifically Brian Reville, for his assistance in cleaning the drain on Auburn to alleviate that flooding on Sunday night. It was much appreciated from the residents there. Kevin Felsher for organizing the trash pickup on this past weekend, and for our own beautification commissioners that showed up to volunteer as well to help. Speaking of the Beautification Commission, we now have the commission loaded on the city website. It's on the city council page, as well as the public meetings page. Also, there's a link on there that brings you to the Beautification Commission's Facebook page. Cecilia has also created a direct link or a short code to where if you type in biloxi.ms.us/beautification, it goes straight to our page as well, the Beautification Commission. Just a little update on that. Mayor, I want to thank you and Cecilia for posting the pictures for the carpet and the singer. Thank you. It looks great according to what Cecilia shared on the Facebook page. So progress, and I think people love to see that progress. I know it's been a long time coming, so thank you for staying on top of that. Prayers go out to the Den family as they lost their father. It's always it's not easy to lose someone, especially this time of year, so it's even tougher for them guys. And happy early birthday to the man who died on the cross for us. So remember to keep Christ in Christmas, and God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Creel. Mr. Neal?
I just wanted to say that Merry Christmas to people in Greater Biloxi. They got Camellia Street open now. I know they appreciate that for Christmas. And I was just going to say, in 2026, I think big things are fixing to happen with Biloxi. And Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Neal. Mr. Marshall?
He stepped out.
Mr. Gray?
First of all, Merry Christmas, everybody. I want to thank this administration, Public Works, for stepping up for this Christmas on Avenue. I mean, I've been getting lots of texts from people, phone calls that's wanting to step up and help, and businesses that are wanting to help make this better next year. I mean, this was first class. I mean, I think Joel Davis, Nicole Nazak, and Lee with Ground Zero, and Lauren Broussard. I mean, these and the city employees that stepped up in the rain Thursday to put trees up, or Wednesday to put trees up. I mean, it was really heartfelt, warm to see all these people out there in the pouring rain to make this event happen for Biloxi. And Thursday, when the lights went out, all the business came together and decorated trees, and everybody was out there helping each other. I mean, that was Biloxi coming together, and that's what we need. I mean, this was one of the best events, I think, so far of the year that we need. And next year, I think it's going to be twice as big. I mean, View Marche was packed. We even got the mayor up there to sing a song. Howard Avenue, hey, it's always going to be View More Shade to me because I grew up there. It may be Howard Avenue to a lot, but to me, that's what it is. Jamie Lee, question. Is there any way we can get a list on all the playgrounds, equipment that needs repaired, and maybe a timeline of when they can be fixed? I mean, summer's around the corner. I know we have a lot to do, and a short time to do it. I mean, we know it's Christmas, but summer's be up on us quickly.
Can do.
And maybe email it to everybody on the council so everybody can stay in the loop, if you don't mind.
Let me jump in for Jamie, too. I think they go through great lengths to give us a item-by-item description at every one of the parks.
Right.
And we can note where we got new things to add, or equipment things to replace, or to fix things. So that's part of the matrix he maintains in spreadsheet form, so that can be done.
It is. And do we get with Ms. Labata yet on the Benaki Park, that repairs?
Not yet.
You can answer that.
We'll get on it right after the holidays.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yes.
Kevin Felcher put a great cleanup event at Point Cadet. I mean, I don't know how many bags of trash that they cleaned up around there. And we even got Mr. Abide down there in the rocks picking up stuff. So it was nice to see that. We had the fire department, we had Councilman Tisdale, Shoemaker, Mike Nail out there, the beautification crew. I mean, it was really, really nice to see everybody come together and get out there and clean up. So we're gonna have a lot more of them cleanups coming up soon. That's all I have. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gray. Mr. Marshall?
Merry Christmas. Enjoy your holidays.
All right, I got a few things. First, the F1 Powerboat Championships, just want to announce again, the dates are proposed for April 17th and 19th. A little bit of a breakthrough on a major sponsorship from coastal Mississippi. They're going to give them some upfront money for the sponsorship, and there's an incentive on the back end if they hit a certain amount of occupied rooms. Also, shout out to the Savonian ladies once again. They made over 850 dozen pusheratas. You know how many pusheratas that is, Mr. Shoemaker? Yeah, okay. It's about over 10,000 pusheratas that they made yesterday, and they were working strong, and as they normally do, with smiles on their faces. I had the opportunity to pour some pink Moscata, and that kind of gave them a break, and it even created a few more smiles and laughter by the end of the day. Yep. So also Santa Maria Del Mar, had a chance to visit yesterday, brought a couple of kids from St. Patrick to kind of fulfill their community service, and we distributed several of these gingerbread house making kits to that group. They were very appreciative. That kind of concludes my tour. For those of you who don't know, we have 6 senior either assisted or living facilities in Ward 6, Santa Maria Del Mar, of course, the Blake, Belmont Gardens, and Bay Cove. And good to see those active older adults doing their thing and singing Christmas carols and getting into the Christmas spirit. The other thing, Big John Road, they extended an invitation to the council, and I had a chance to go out there, and my first time, and they tabbed it one night in Bethlehem. Very moving production. They had music, they had bonfires, they had a drone up in the sky simulating a star. Didn't last that long, but very moving with lit candles. And I think the highlight of the night, if you haven't been kissed by a live camel, you're not living. I got the opportunity to get kissed by a live camel, that night. Well, it was alive. It was very much alive. And so maybe next year, that's a good event. If y'all haven't been to it, I'd encourage you to get out there. They put a lot in it, and it showed very genuine to our Christian principles. And then finally, since this is our last meeting, I'm going to kind of read a message to everyone. As we gather at the close of this year, I'm filled with gratitude and pride for all that we have endured, accomplished, and celebrated together. Our city's strength runs deep in our Biloxi roots. We have faced natural disasters with resilience and unity, and we have weathered the storms that test our resolve, always returning to one another with renewed purpose and hope. In these past months, we have also encountered voices that sought to spin stories for self-indulgence, yet the true measure of Biloxi isn't found in the noise, but it's in the care, integrity, and collaboration that we define our everyday actions. We have stayed true to our values, grounded in service to our neighbors and in the shared dream of a thriving and welcoming Biloxi for all. Looking forward to the new year, we embrace fresh opportunities that lie ahead. Our path is illuminated by collaborative spirit of our community residents, business owners, educators, veterans, families, and dedicated city staff working side by side. When we pool our talents, we create a Biloxi that is safer, stronger, and more prosperous, where neighborhoods flourish, where small businesses grow, and where our culture and heritage are celebrated with pride. There is no greatness in Biloxi that we do alone. There is only the greatness we achieve together. Let us continue to lift one another, to listen, to serve, and to innovate for the good of every citizen in Biloxi who calls Biloxi home. God bless you. Merry Christmas. We'll move on to the citizens' comments. There's a total allotted time of 45 minutes. When you're called upon, come up to the podium, write your name and address, and state your name and address for the record so the clerk can record it, and we'll go ahead and get started. Anyone on my left, your right, like to come up and speak? Yes, ma'am.
I'm Cynthia McEldowney. I live on a point, Crawford Street, and my interest is in a pier that was going to be built by the LLC across from the Tivoli property. And my concerns are, is if they okay this pier, will the city have to okay a casino on that property? Before this issue came up years ago, and it was going to take the whole block from Howard Avenue up. And this is where all of our historical trees are. What we need are businesses that are family-oriented, like that Waffle House. That's perfect. They have respect for our historical trees. This is the only beautiful spot on the point. And it's our heritage, and it's our culture. We need businesses that will enhance our culture and have a place for our children to go other than just a casino. As far as the pier, we really don't need another pier. We need a lighthouse pier to be built back. But I just hope when you okay it that you don't commit yourself to saying yes to a casino in this spot. We need businesses that will enhance the family, people that the family can go together and have respect for the nature of our trees. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Tom? Merry Christmas.
Tom Sawyer. I'm with Brown & Brown Insurance, and I'm here to speak on behalf of Biloxi Capital. As you all know, insurance is a big issue. And, you know, we're talking about a very large project, probably talking about in excess $700 million. And we're talking about a property that's going to be built correctly with a lot of concrete. Now, when you take a $700 million worth of insured risk, and you put it in the coastal Mississippi, that helps the overall insurance rates based on construction. So that $750 million ultimately will help us in the spread of risk for a type of construction. So this is going to be a very good development. In addition, as you all know, 1,300 rooms, Mayor, will probably produce somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500 jobs. And we need jobs. And so I'm in total favor of this. I think it's great for the community. It's good for the city of Biloxi, and it's surely good for the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on my left? Your right. Want to come up and speak? Anyone on my right? Your left? Anyone in the back of the room? Citizen comments is now closed. We'll move on to our policy agenda. This is a second reading.
Ordinance to amend Chapter 12, License and Business Regulations to add Article 15, Towing Services.
I need to know who moved it. Mr. Creel moved
Creel
it.
moved it and Gray seconded.
All right.
I'll second it.
Mr. Creel?
Yeah, so basically, this is adding language that will detail the city's contracts with entities to manage and dispatch towing companies within the city.
All right. Mr. Gray?
I concur with everything Mr. Creel said.
Okay. Any other discussion on this
No,
ordinance?
not on this.
Anyone else? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Next resolution. Did he vote yes? Mr. Moore?
Resolution authorizing entry into consent and lease agreement for property in connection with building a public pier by and between the City of Biloxi and Biloxi Capital LLC.
Chair, entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Creel. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Shoemaker. Mr. Creel?
Yeah, so this is, from what I understand, thank you, Mr. Kavanaugh. If you could just give us a brief, detailed explanation, sir.
Thank you for having me up here again. Some of you have heard this before, as you know, but some of you haven't. But I thought I'd start out with an outline a little bit of why we're here and why we're going through this process. And one of the threshold questions in all of this is whether or not the city and the county, of course, have the right to grant this lease to the waterfront and the sand beach. And the answer is yes. This issue has been resolved many times by the Mississippi Supreme Court on a number of occasions. And also the issue about, is this lease comparable to other leases of this nature? And frankly, there's only two other leases of this nature in the city of Biloxi. One is between the city and the county and RW Development at Veterans Avenue, and the other is at Tullis, which is just a couple hundred feet east of where this property is. And the terms, I will tell you, the terms of this lease are almost identical to those two leases, and for good reason. The RW lease, which was entered into way back in, I believe, 21, was challenged at the circuit court level, and we were successful, and it was upheld. It was challenged at the Supreme Court level, and it was once again upheld. The Tullis, for some reason, was not challenged when the lease was approved by the city council. It went unchallenged, so it's in full force and effect as well. But the terms are almost identical, and it's for that reason that the template and the terms have already been approved by literally the Mississippi Supreme Court. And so we wanted to stay true and consistent with what we know has been approved in the past. And and the comments on this lease, as you know, this was passed before by the previous council, and we had to bring it back because of a technical glitch, frankly. But the court has made decisions already, and Circuit Court Harrison County said that as much as to Biloxi Capital, in a ruling by Judge Dodson, she said, quote, "The city clearly has the authority to enter into this lease, and they have the authority to arrive at the fair terms that they wish to arrive at, with this party being Biloxi Capital." So we already know that the court has already said that that's appropriate, and that under the ruling, and that certainly under the RW ruling, the city has the authority to do that. Now, that particular order and opinion by her has not been challenged. Okay, I said it's, and the other thing that's important is in addition to the lease payments that are being paid to the city and to the county, the developer, ultimate operator of the casino, will be paying an in lieu payment to the Secretary of State's office somewhere in excess of $600,000 a year. It'll be well in excess of that, I'm pretty confident, but the way that works is the in lieu payment is based upon the capital cost of your casino portion of your project. So a smaller casino will pay maybe $400,000, $300,000, but as you go up the scale in the capital cost of that casino, your payment to the Secretary of State as an in lieu payment goes up as well. But you don't know that number. We can't say what that is today, because that's done as an accounting at the end of the project, and you've already spent the money and you've built the casino, and you can say with certainty, well, they spent X hundreds of millions of dollars on the casino, and therefore this is what the in lieu payment is going to be. But that is definitely a part of the process and project. Now, I want to give you a little overview of the project in general, and tell you a little bit about the developers. The developers is a company called Biloxi Capital, LLC, and that's made up of three entities. One is Danny Conwell, who was originally from Gulfport. Danny currently owns the Felix's Oyster Houses all across the South now, and he also has a home in Gulfport. He spent many, many years in investment banking business and was an investment banker for a number of years. The other one is also from Mississippi is Terry White. Terry White and his family own thousands of acres in Hancock County, and they're in the oil and the gas business in Texas and Louisiana and other places, and he's been quite successful and still spends a lot of time in Hancock County. The third is a company called Tavistock. Tavistock is a $8 billion company that builds resorts, subdivisions, hospitals, you name it. They're just a huge, huge company, and they're the third partner in here. Some of y'all may have heard of the Tavistock Cup, which is a golf tournament between two subdivisions in Orlando, Florida, where most of the golf pros stay. Windermere and I forget the Lake Nona is the other one. And every year they have a golf tournament called the Tavistock Cup between the pro golfers that just live on the Tavistock subdivisions. So that's the type of things they do. And they're very successful at it, and they're a very large company. We're proposing approximately a 1,300 room hotels. I've been thinking about the square footage. 1,300 room hotel with 100,000 square feet of gaming on a 32-acre site. The site extends all the way from Highway 90, well, actually from the water's edge, all the way back to Highway 90, bounded on the west, Holly Street, and with the exception of the old yacht club and 2 or 3 houses on the north end of Holly Street. I'm sorry, that would be Holly Street is owned by Biloxi Capital. It's not an option. They've owned it since 2006, I believe. They've owned it a long time and have a lot invested in it already.
A lot of taxes have been paid on that property.
A
lot of
tax have been paid on it.
Mr. Kavanaugh, can I ask you a quick question? The way this resolution reads is that in connection with building a public pier, are we dealing with the public pier today, or are we dealing with the entire development of the entire project?
Well, we're dealing with the actual lease, and the lease covers what the project is as well as a pier.
All right, so the property as well as the pier?
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that, because when you read this, it kind of reads like we're approving a pier development, so.
There's there used to be a pier at front of the old Tivoli, 100 years ago.
Yep.
And that pier was destroyed probably 2 or 3 times, but finally I think Camille did it in, but possibly it survived a little bit after that, but Katrina certainly did. At that point, that was a private pier. And it was just for the patrons of the Tivoli. And if they wanted to, they could go back and just do another private pier, but they're not.
The remnants of that pier around the pilings, some pilings on that whole property, some of those pilings are still.
Yeah, in the resolution, there was all attached photographs again. You can see some of the photographs, if not from previous resolution, it shows how deep the water is out at the end of the pier, because it says deep water, and they have people swimming in it. And the pier will be for the public. Biloxi Capital will build it, they will insure it, they will maintain it, they will take care of it. There'll be no gaming whatsoever allowed on the pier, and it will not be revenue generating as a pier. The revenue comes in from the fact that it's connected to the casino across the street, and millions of dollars are generated in taxes, jobs, and everything else from the casino. But the pier itself, as far as Biloxi Capital concerned, is not an income-producing property. It's for the city of Biloxi and the public to be used as a public pier. And we just have to maintain it, insure it, and we'll have electricity, there's water and all that to take care of it. And we believe that there's a number of benefits to the city in granting us the right to build this pier as part of the other project. For one thing, that the taxes is be astronomical, of course. 2,000 people in the construction, at least 2,000 people in the operation of the project as you go forward. The construction serves a higher public purpose, which is a requirement to grant leases to the waterfronts in the state of Mississippi. There will be an in lieu payment, like I mentioned, a substantial amount, so the Secretary of State is not losing any money on this property, on the project. So we believe that the terms of the project and the terms of the lease with the city are comparable to previous to the city has entered into, and believe be in the best interest of the citizens of Biloxi.
So good.
Mr. Creel.
Yeah, we can, if you want to give them that. As you know, just explain what happened. We went through this before, as you may know, in great detail, and it was approved by what's called nunc pro tunc. It's an old Latin phrase that means then for now, but a new lease was not actually signed, just reapproved the old lease, and the judge said, no, you can't just reapprove the old lease because that old lease ceased to exist. So we had to actually redraft the lease.
So what's our new Latin term of the day?
Nunc pro tunc.
Okay, the new one, not the old one.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Creel, any?
Yeah, so quick, so this.
But the terms, there was no problems, didn't appear to be with the terms, anything like that. We just had to go through the process again.
So,
Done that and redone the lease, paid for the signatures of Biloxi Capital and the mayor, so we're asking it to be approved again.
so quick question. So I remember the last time you spoke, I wasn't sitting up here yet. I was still in the audience, and I believe there was a gentleman from Secretary of State that spoke in opposition. So are we to assume that now, based on this new lease that we're signing today, that Secretary of State is on board with everything, or do we envision that same conflict coming up? I mean, I understand what you said about Supreme Court.
I no longer try to predict what he's going to do.
Okay, all right.
I didn't think you'd have done the last one, to be honest with you,
Okay,
but I really don't know.
gotcha. Okay, so the time frame on this project, is there a time frame?
Well, we've also been approved by the Gaming Commission for the site approval. That's already been done, and that's also being challenged. Okay, so we're waiting on courts to decide.
Okay, and the length of this lease is?
It is for 40 years with a 25-year option, based on kind of what a Tidelands lease would be.
Gotcha. All right, perfect, thank you.
All right, Mr. Gray. Let me get Mr. Gray. All right, Mr. Marshall.
Okay, I'm having a lot of, I'm not understanding it, and I have trouble voting for things I don't understand completely. I want the casino. Everybody knows when we come to East Biloxi, I'm the person. I'm looking forward to it. I can't hardly wait. I want to put the first dollar in there. However, it seems like you're talking about we're voting on something I'm not sure we're voting on. I have a lot of questions about it. My view would be that we would come back with a work section of something that we can we can sit down and go through this whole thing and understand exactly what's all included in this. We're looking at 121 pages of information here, and if I had to vote right now on it, it'd have to be a solid hard no, and it seems like I'm voting against a casino. I'm not trying to vote against a casino. I want the casino, but I need to know exactly what's included, what I'm voting on. So I'm looking towards more of a work section or something. Set us out one day. Let's sit down and hash this out and make sure before we tie up this city for 40 years on something we just kind of like haphazardly did.
All right. Mr. Tisdale?
You'd mentioned RW and Tivoli. Tullis, excuse me. The T's get me confused. Tullis. And they both also have piers. This would have a pier, and I'm thinking, what's the significance of the piers?
You have to have a connection all the way to the water's edge.
Right, and I understand. So just having, whether you own the property or lease, you have to have something on that property.
Actually, what we're leasing mainly is from Harrison County.
Right.
The county owns the Sand Beach.
Right.
Right. The city, the ownership of the waters below Sand Beach is disputed. Maybe we own it, maybe the secretary owns it, but in any event, it's in the city of Biloxi, and the city of Biloxi is going to be the primary benefactor of pier we're going to build at the water's edge. Sand Beach is questionably the exclusive authority of Harrison County. And Harrison County, as y'all well know, has already approved. And
that answered my question. Thank you, Mr. Kavanaugh.
All right, Mr. Shoemaker.
We all heard Mr. Kavanaugh's presentation. We have two almost identical leases in the city already on casino sites. I can only see this personally as a plus and a huge benefit, not just to the city, but the Gulf Coast and the state of Mississippi. I think it's all a plus. I haven't heard any negatives, and if there are, I haven't heard any. So. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gray? You got anything?
Yeah, my only concern is, I mean, everything on here is about the pier, and I'm like Councilman Marshall, I think we need to, we're not against casinos, by no means at all. We need the revenue, we need the jobs. I think maybe we need to have some type of workshop or something to explain this. I mean, because everything on here is about the pier. It's nothing about the lease of the property. So, I mean, I would be in favor of tabling this for a workshop to try to go over it a little more in detail. And that'd be my vote on this. So I'd like to make a motion to table this.
Property,
Let's finish the discussion, then we'll take up your motion. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay.
The property is already owned by them, the uplands. Biloxi Capital owns that property now. They don't need any, this lease only deals with Sand Beach.
Yep.
Not leasing any real land from the city at all. It's only the beach.
Mr. Kavanaugh, I'm at that point where you know that I want the casino. You know I want the jobs. You know I want anything that'll help East Biloxi. But I got to understand everything that's going on. This is a 40-year lease. I understand we already got 2 others just like it. But how do we know that they're right? There's no casinos there. You know, there's no development there. So this is our opportunity as the new council to come on and say, let's slow this down. Let's look at what we're going to make a decision on, not what was done before us. But I want to be clear on all the details as possible. And I don't think I'm asking too much either. I don't think that's asking too much. If it's something that's good to go, then an hour of discussion about it at a proper time, it's not going to hurt. Actually, just more educated to everybody.
Mr. Creel?
So, quick question. So this lease is only discussing, what we're approving, the 40-year lease with the 25-year option is just with Harrison County, the Sand Beach for the pier. Anything north of 90 is not before us today.
Right.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, I mean, if it's just for the pier, I wouldn't have a problem, but I mean, a while ago, it's about the whole lease for the whole property on both sides.
Yeah, we're still, I'm not clear either. I understand that you guys already own the property. I understand that you can't, it's a possibility you're not going to be able to, you need this pier to build the casino. And there's just other questions I would like to be clear about. If everybody else is clear, I can't, you know, I'm asking for a work session, 1 hour, to get clear about what it is, what I'm doing.
Thank you. I got a couple of comments because we've been involved with it, and the opposition came to this meeting. I think we had a night meeting. I offered to take him out on the pier late at night to discuss it further, but he declined.
What's this, sir?
What's that?
When did all this happen?
It happened with the previous council.
That's my whole point. We voted on something that you guys already started.
Understand.
But we're at the point where this is all new to us.
I'm not disputing your point of view.
We're not a part of it.
Thank you. I'm not disputing your point of view. I'm just talking about how this unfolded. We have a major investors, major developer. It means a lot of jobs, and sometimes when you stall certain things, you know, you put things at risk. This is a significant game changer with investment in Biloxi directly, jobs with Biloxi directly. We heard from an insurance entrepreneur back there, and just that alone, the economic impact with the insurance investment. The owner that has been waiting patiently to get through the red tape and the maneuverings of the Secretary of State and others has been trying to weather that storm. And we've been trying to assist and help him or help this cause in the best interest of Biloxi along the way. If you need, I'm not in favor of a workshop. If you want to have one to understand the particulars of a lease for a pier, this is zoned waterfront, so it's appropriate for casino development. We're not doing a zoning change. All that is in place, so that doesn't complicate things. And for us to complicate it further is puzzling to me. But that's my 2 cents. Appreciate your comments, Mr. Kavanaugh. Are there any other discussions on this matter?
Going back to my point, Mr. Kavanaugh?
Yep.
Mine?
Mr. Marshall, you recognized?
Okay, again, Mr. Kavanaugh, all the discussions was done before. 4 of us didn't know anything about it. Okay, I can vouch for those 4 of us. Decisions were made before the 4 of us got up here. What I'm asking for is that the same opportunity that was afforded the other councilmen members who are not here anymore, I'm asking for that same opportunity. And I believe that my area, which you're going into, East Biloxi, deserves the right to understand that. I don't understand it at this point. I do know that there are some questions and concerns, and if this is something that you guys already decided on, and in my little hour before the next meeting, an hour before the next meeting, or 45 minutes before the next meeting, or I can get with Mr. Kavanaugh and get caught up on it before the meeting, if that's too much to ask, then, that's all we're asking. And there's going to be other opportunities, there are going to be other things that are going to come forward that you guys had discussed before we got here, that we're going to say, let's back up so we can understand also what's going on. And that's all I'm asking for. And I think if something this major, a 40-year lease on a casino that's going to bring in 1,500 rooms, we want all of this.
This lease has nothing to do with the 1,500 rooms.
Could you operate the casino without this lease?
Yeah.
So you don't need this pier?
We have to control to the water's edge.
The question is, do you have to have this pier? Do you have to have this pier to operate and get your gaming license?
Yes.
Do you have to have this pier?
We made a choice to make a pier and donate it to the city.
I understand, but I'm looking for an answer to my question.
The pier without this approval of the city, totally.
Okay, what I'm asking you, sir, will you be able to operate your casino without this pier?
We're not going to operate a casino without the pier.
The pier, when built, will also be enjoyed by the general public, correct?
Yes,
I'm not questioning that either, sir.
Okay, it's a critical point. It's not a private pier.
Right, but right now, you have to have this pier in order to operate the gaming license.
We do not have to have the pier. We have a lease. We have a lease from Harrison County already that is not affected by whatever you do. And that lease is over the sand beach. And that sand beach goes all the way to the water's edge.
Okay.
The city is a party to this because we're giving you the pier. And it's going to be y'all's public pier.
So without the pier, you're still able to operate the casino?
Absolutely, I believe we could.
Okay, see, these are things that, I've gotten since we've started talking. I'm hearing 2 different versions of it. So let's just give us the hour. That's all we're asking. Give us the hour so we can fully understand. I get all my questions asked.
Okay. Any other questions or ideas or suggestions?
No.
There's none. And call for the question. All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries.
I'm going to give this
5-2.
Give this to the clerk to make it as part of the record. This previous.
Mr. Kavanaugh, I would also suggest you might get with some of the interested parties that want to know more about the pier and maybe even about the project itself, and provide them that courtesy to give them that wisdom.
Well,
would you be amicable to that?
Yeah, all y'all have to do is give me a call and come to my office, and I'll be glad to.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kavanaugh. All right. Move on to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion for the consent?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Tisdale.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Creel. Mr. Tisdale.
Here. On item J, this deals with towing and storage rates and the tow manual. They give the Chief, they give the rates, light duty tow, medium duty tow, recovery costs, and so forth. Is that any increase to the current rates, or are those the current rates as well?
That's going to be the current rates. What we did was went in and between all the tow services, tried to make it the same for everybody.
Gotcha.
We did a good bit of meeting with them and deciding, what would be a good rate without overcharging people. And when you sit down, you figure in gas, wear and tear on the vehicles, it does get a little expensive, but we tried to do what was fair, and I know that Peter looked over it several times. I'm sure it's going to be a living document. They had to go back and do.
Sure, but these rates are, as you said, you got input from the tow services. These are the rates that sounded good to everybody. Is that an increase to any extent from what's being charged now? And you
Have to go back and look. But
or it may vary by tow service, huh?
I don't think
Okay.
it was, all of them
Gotcha.
were a little different. So some it may be a little bit of an increase, and some of them it may not. But I can get that information for you, but I don't recall right offhand.
You get it to me later, it's not a problem.
Mr. Tisdale, I believe there's a question by another councilman on that issue. Would you allow him to talk about that now, or?
Well, maybe.
Okay.
Of course I will.
All right, Mr. Gray?
Yeah, I would like to make a motion to table this until after Christmas, just to clarify a few things on here. And a few of them, one of them is the hourly rate. We have the same hourly rate for the light vehicles as we do the heavies. So I don't think we should have a $200 hourly rate to recover a regular vehicle. So I would just like to table this till after Christmas so we can sit down and try to get everything figured out.
You okay with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, make that motion.
I'd like to make a motion to table this till after
Do we have a
Christmas.
second to table J? Tabled by Mr. Nail. Any discussion? All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries to table J. All right, Mr. Tisdale, you still have the floor.
Thank you. On item L, deals with professional services agreement for an architect. And my question is, apparently we are considering some projects, or maybe not, but.
No, this is one that y'all actually approved in the budget this year. This has to do with the old brick house. And in order for us to move forward with the repair work to the roof and to a couple of the parapets, we have to have an architect that's
Good enough.
certified. Yeah.
Thank you, Jerry. That's all I have. Thank you.
Jerry? Is it okay if I ask him?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
just going to get clear, what type of work are we looking at now?
Well, we've talked about over the next several years, the restoration, the complete restoration of the old brick house. But, for budgetary reasons, we're trying to do it in stages. And the first thing we need to do on the old brick house is to fix the roof. The roof is in bad shape, and that's part of the moisture getting inside. There is some brake work that has to be done on the outside. We did get a $20,000 grant to help with this that we're having to match, but we also budgeted some money that hopefully will cover the brickwork and the roof as well.
Okay. This has already been budgeted, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. All right, what ward is that in?
I believe that's Ward 2.
L, I think.
If you don't mind, like we're doing things like this, it's come up on the agenda, it's going to be like concerning Ward 2.
Yes, sir.
Can you give me like a courtesy call or shoot me something so I can look at it a little bit harder and tighter?
Yes,
Would that be
sir.
okay with you, Mr. Mayor?
Things have been done, and according to all kinds of uses, and see that the house got certification, and that's what we're talking about. This is an architect that needs to require certification,
We'd still be willing on Mondays to have a conversation on anything that you would have a question on. But pretty straightforward on why we're doing this.
Okay. But my question was,
So we have no problem letting you know about things in Ward 2 or
Right.
Ward 1 or wherever.
right, if
Make you aware of that.
It's not, this is more of a specific ward issue. And if it was in the Wood Market exit, I would expect you to contact them, hey, this is what's going on in your area, and this is what this is going to be about. Mr. Tisdale Ward, it'll help out a lot. That beats us having to come to these meetings, a meeting before the meeting. All it takes is a phone call.
Mr. Marshall, let me point out one thing. It might be good if the items on the agenda just already had the ward listed on there for each item, so
That would help.
you ought to be aware of it in the beginning, so.
That would also help, but I would prefer just a text, email saying, hey, this is a ward-specific issue.
Okay.
That way we can always address it correctly.
If the mayor's okay with that, then we have.
Mayor, are you okay with that? Sir?
For the moment. For the moment. All right, Mr. Tisdale, you still,
I'm done.
you're done. Mr. Creel.
Just a couple questions. So I believe it's 5C. 5C has to do with the, I'm assuming it's the phone lines inside the elevator. Looks like we're going to a cellular service, right? Currently, we're using landline. Is that what I understand?
We currently have landlines in the visitor center. We took 15 elevators over to these self-communicators 2 years ago. They've worked beautifully. They've saved us money, and they've saved us from having to go through double inspections from failure for these phone lines. So we're
So we're just doing the same thing with these two at the visitor center to now.
on to A1 on this agenda as well. So there's one to contract and one to go ahead and get them to sell.
Okay, so one thing I read, it was said something, there's an additional charge of $650 if the existing lines, can you just elaborate on that for me?
When they go in, these are Otis elevators, when they go in and go to program them, they provided if they have to, there are parts inside. If it is in the phone itself, the part does not work with their system, they're going to have to replace that phone thing, and it will be another $650.
Okay, perfect. And then I'm not sure if you have item F as well. It seems that F takes effect January the 1st through June, the end of June.
Yes, this is.
So I guess I'm assuming that the previous contract expires at the end of the year. Is that why we're renewing it?
Yes, it expires December 31st.
So, and it's just, we're using the same company now. We're just renewing the lease there.
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, Mr. Shoemaker. Mr. Nail.
Item M, these vehicles, are they junk or they run? I was just wanting to know how they're going to be put on the Gov, as running or just junk?
Talking about those vehicles?
17.
Chief, are those running or not? That are on .gov? Yeah, so we've got that, and we're working on the other ones with the crushing and all of those. They'll be coming to you as well.
All right.
We stated before, we're going to make sure we clean up that area around Pops Ferry, and that's what we've been working on to get this from the govs.com and other avenues.
I still say public auction, you get 3 times the amount of money. People can see them running.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Marshall, I'll come back to you. Mr. Gray.
I have nothing.
Mr. Marshall.
Nothing.
Okay, and I have nothing. We'll go ahead and vote on the consent, and then we'll come back for any exceptions. All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Exceptions, Mr. Gray?
I have none.
Mr. Marshall?
Come back to me.
Mr. Nail?
I have none.
Mr. Creel?
No exceptions.
Mr. Tisdale?
None.
Mr. Shoemaker? No exceptions. Mr. Marshall?
No exceptions.
No exceptions. Thank you. Code enforcement? Mr. Creel?
The only item we have today, item A, Terry and Margaret Cobb, 282 Hickory Road. That case has been resolved.
Thank you, Mr. Creel. Routine agenda, need a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Tisdale,
Second.
second by Mr. Creel. Mr. Tisdale?
Nothing.
Mr. Creel?
Merry Christmas.
Mr. Marshall?
Merry Christmas.
Anyone else on the routine?
Merry Christmas.
All right, all in favor? Those opposed, motion carries. Need a motion to, what are we doing? Recess?
So before we adjourn,
Adjourning?
before we
Yes.
adjourn,
Go ahead, Mr. Marshall.
did I hear you say you was kissing a camel?
You did say that.
You did say that, right?
Did I say that?
You went to the event and you were kissing the camel.
On the positive side, it was a live camera.
It was a live camel, and it was alive after.
adjourn in memory of the.
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
All right,
Please.
thank you very much, Mr. Tisdale. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Creel. Any discussion? Thank you. All in favor? Opposed? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Lips that kiss camels will never kiss mine.
Hey, which area you live in? Where you live in? You in here, Lord? If he don't treat you right, you let me know. If he don't treat you right, you let me know. If he don't treat you, let me know. I get it.
I got some stories. I think that's a long time.